Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know at the News You Trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Elevo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. I'm Joe Everett, bringing you today's farm news. Well, harvest has definitely started here in the Buckeye State. As I made my way over to the Farm Science Review yesterday, I saw a few combines out in the fields, and I look to see more as we move throughout the week. Some quick calendar reminders. Powered by Soy Biodiesel, we will be broadcasting from Farm Science Review today, thanks to Ag Credit, financing the future of rural America. Then make sure to visit Ag Revolution on Lot 513 at the Farm Science Review to see exciting new products from AGCO and experience the Ohio AgNet radio broadcast tomorrow live from the Fent exhibit. Then make sure you stop by Wilmington College's booth at the Farm Science Review September 16th through the 18th and learn how Wilmington College's agriculture program is built for purpose. Then make plans now to visit the Ashland County Fair September 14th through the 20th. Sponsors for Friday's remote broadcast at the fair are Centerra Co-op and Wellington Implement. Visit ashlandcountyfair.com for the full schedule. Well, the U.S. beef cow inventory has reached its lowest point since 1962, reports Drover, marking what appears to be the bottom of the current cattle cycle. Tight supply is driving the strong pricing environment beef producers are enjoying today. For cow-calf producers right now, things are as good as they've probably ever been, says Troy Rowan, University of Tennessee assistant professor. Agreeing with Rowan, South Dakota cattleman Ken Odd adds that while profits are currently strong, inflation quickly erodes economic gains. The beef industry is not currently in herd expansion mode, with producers hesitant to retain heifers due to high costs and economic uncertainties, says Dave Weber, trained senior animal protein analyst. While the USDA reports showed the smallest U.S. herd in history and continuing tightening numbers on feed, analysts predict producers have not yet experienced the highest cattle prices yet. Now let's check in with Joel Penorwood for an update from the Farm Science Review.
This is the Ohio AgNet. I'm Joel Penorwood. We're here at the Farm Science Review, previewing it. And for those of you wanting to come out, come join us Tuesday through Thursday. And really excited to be joining right now by a name some of you know, and quite a bit of you know, Ty Higgins, the Ohio Farm Bureau. He's Senior Director of Communications over that way. Ty, Farm Bureau having quite the presence out here, as they always do at Farm Science Review. What will folks need to stop by and have a chat with you all about?
Yeah, you can't miss us, the corner of Beef and Friday. And, you know, when we talk about things we've accomplished over the last year, we talk about the state biennial budget that had a lot of wins for agriculture. But one of the biggest wins we had was the Ohio Farm Bureau health plans legislation that Governor DeWine signed into law early part of July, giving our members another option for health care. Maybe they're looking at the free market. Maybe they're looking through the government programs and they can't find something that fits them and their family. Maybe they're only working off the farm because they need health care. Well, this gives them an option to find something that's maybe more affordable for their family and their farm's bottom line, but maybe another option that gets them back to the farm full time and still have that health care coverage that their family needs, especially for those young families. So you can visit with us about those health plans. And of course, you can always get your membership renewed or sign up for a new membership and get a brand new pair of Ohio Farm Bureau branded work gloves. So again, corner of Beef and Friday, always a great chance for us to visit with our members in person and talk about the importance of being an Ohio Farm Bureau member and the value that comes along with it.
Thanks, Ty, very much for the update.
Hey, thanks, Joel. Stay tuned. We'll be back with today's weather next here on the Ohio AgNet. Get ready for the 63rd Annual Farm Science Review September 16th through the 18th near London, Ohio. Explore hundreds of exhibits, field demonstrations, and educational sessions. Get pre-sale discounted tickets at participating OSU Extension offices, agribusinesses, or online at fsr.osu.edu. Plan your trip with the digital directory and mobile app, and follow Farm Science Review on social media. Don't miss the 63rd Farm Science Review September 16th through the 18th.
Are you involved in Ohio agriculture and do not get Ohio's Country Journal in your mailbox? You're kidding, right? Hey, it's Ty Higgins. It's free to subscribe to OCJ, but the information you'll get about current crop conditions, market analysis, new innovations in technology, policy, and more is invaluable. Subscribe or renew your subscription by September 20th, and you could win a $250 Visa gift card. Visit ocj.com/renew to get Ohio's Country Journal and read what you've been missing.
You're tuning in on the Ohio AgNet. Today's weather brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Here's the forecast.
Sunny, warm, and dry weather continues here through the rest of the week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you here in Ohio. I'm not putting any rain in the forecast all the way through Saturday. And honestly, at this point, I feel confident in saying you get most of Sunday. In northwest Ohio, we may see some Sunday afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms develop, but most of the rest of us will be overnight Sunday night into Monday. And really, we don't see a good threat of rain here until we get into a cutoff low scenario next week. Tuesday through Thursday, a low pressure area seems to get cut off just a little bit farther to our west. It throws a good, solid rains over multiple days up through parts of Illinois and Indiana. Here's the thing, though. It doesn't take much of a move in that low to the east to get those solid multi-day rains into Ohio. Either way, I think we're getting rain next week, but how much depends on where this low wants to set up and how fast it moves. These cutoff lows have the potential to put down very large times of rain because areas get hit hour after hour, day after day. So we'll have to see how it comes together, but that's what we see working into the country next week. It gets out by the end of the week, and then the last week there that we're talking about, the last few days of September into October, it does look like we move back into a more quick-moving west-east forecast pattern with the potential for some heavier rains, but then followed by drier patterns. That's the way your forecast is stacking up. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Well, over the weekend, I caught up with Josh Winters, who is the agricultural and natural resource educator in Jackson, Ohio, about a big event that happens every year.
We're going through our 64th annual Farm City Field Day here in Jackson. And Farm City Field Day was first established because we had a group of farmers who saw a pretty big information gap between those who lived in the city and those who lived out in this rural area. So they really wanted to create some type of event where the city people and the country people could come together, share a meal, and have that educational experience. Typically, we do this program on Thursday afternoons, but this year we're kind of veering from tradition. So they typically did Thursday afternoons because the town shut down on Thursdays, and like many small towns, a lot of them do not shut down anymore on Thursdays. So we're trying this on a Saturday afternoon, and we're going to be having a fun evening. So they do a pit roasted beef, where we were here yesterday on Friday, all day digging the pit, burning the pit, setting the sand up, and tossing the beef in there. So they're cut into a whole roast. And then about 5 to 5:30 today, we're going to uncover the pit. We're going to pull the meat off, and we're going to be able to slice it, and everybody's going to get to enjoy a Jackson County beef to make the program just a little bit more of a taste from home.
You know, you make it sound easy when you talk about that, but there's a lot of people involved. Who all is helping you with this event?
Yeah, we have a big partnership with our Jackson County Farmers Club. So this club meets every single year. They meet every single month, and they have programs where they just get to learn. But these last few months, it's all hands on deck. So a bunch of local community members. We'd also like to thank John Everett. So this is where our location is for our farm this year. So we get to have this out. It's farmed by Triple D Ranch. So Dirk and Daryl Dempsey, they do a lot of help here setting up the labor part, going out, mowing, setting all the vendors up, setting up the parking. So we really appreciate all their help to make this program a success.
Now, you said this has been going on for quite some time now. Do you know how many years it's been going on?
Yes, this is a 64th one. So they started way back in 1961. So we're on year 64.
Again, that was Josh Winters, agriculture and natural resource educator in Jackson County. Now let's check out your numbers from this week's Ohio Crop Progress Report, which is sponsored by Unleaded 88. Save on fuel with the blue handle. Fill up with Unleaded 88. Discover more at ohiocornandwheat.org. Starting with the national numbers, corn dented was estimated at 85%, 2 percentage points ahead of last year's 83%, and 1 percentage point behind the 5-year average of 86%. Corn matured was pegged at 41%, 2 percentage points behind last year's 43%, and equal to the 5-year average. As we turn to the harvest progress, it moved ahead 3 percentage points last week to reach 7% complete as of Sunday. That is 1 point behind last year's 8% and equal to the 5-year average. As for its crop condition, 67% of the crop was rated in good to excellent condition nationwide, down 1 point from the previous week of 68%. As we turn to soybeans dropping leaves were pegged at 41%, equal to last year's pace and 1 point ahead of the 5-year average of 40%. As for the harvest progress, the first soybean harvest report of the season, estimated at 5% of the crop, was harvested as of Sunday. That is 1 point behind last year's 6% and 2 points ahead of the 5-year average of 3%. As for their crop condition, estimated that 63% of the soybeans were in good to excellent condition, down 1 point from 64% the previous week and previous year. Now taking a quick look at their winter wheat planting progress, it jumped 6 points last week to reach 11% nationwide as of Sunday. That is 2 points behind last year and the 5-year average of 13%. Now looking at your numbers for the Buckeye State, corn dented this week is rated at 81%. That is 5 points ahead of the 5-year average. Corn matured is pegged at 33%. That is 7 points ahead of the 5-year average. As for corn harvested, it is pegged at 1% complete this week, which is equal to the 5-year average. As we turn to soybeans, 43% are dropping leaves compared to the 5-year average of 34%. And as for soybeans harvested, they are at 2% complete this week, which is up 1% from the 5-year average. Stay tuned. We'll be back with your grain analysis and your overnight markets after this.
Attention construction pros. Purple Wave Auction brings quality equipment to your fingertips. Join our bi-weekly online auctions featuring dozers, excavators, loaders, and more. We provide detailed listings, photos, and seller contact info. Inspect online or in person. With our no reserve policy, every item sells to the highest bidder. Visit purplewave.com today and see why informed builders choose Purple Wave. Transparent processes, real deals. Your next great purchase awaits. purplewave.com.
Stop on by our Red Barn during the Farm Science Review, September 16th, 17th, and 18th.
Come say hello to the Ohio AgNet and the Ohio Country Journal team.
Subscribe to Ohio's Country Journal for a chance to win one of 4 $250 gift cards.
And don't miss your chance to say hi to Dale Minyo. After more than 30 years on the air, he's retiring. Sign his guest book, play games, and enjoy fun giveaways.
Plus, free popcorn every day until 1 o'clock.
We'll see you at the corner of Corn and Market at the Red Barn at Farm Science Review.
It's now time for today's market analysis, which is brought to you by the Louis Dreyfus Company, excited to be building the newest state-of-the-art soybean crush facility in Upper Sandusky, Ohio. Call 574-566-2113 for information on soybean marketing to LDC. Here's Ryan Martin.
Grain markets finished mostly lower to start the week on Monday. As we take a look at the market commentaries and our thoughts on what the markets did. Well, an early rally yesterday on soybeans got us excited a little bit, but I think most of that was predicated on non-agricultural things. Here's what I mean. President Trump got on his Truth Social outlet yesterday and said he was going to be talking to President Xi. He was doing that as an announcement of a framework agreement, not on agriculture, but on the old TikTok. I guess we've come to some kind of arrangement, agreement that TikTok can stay in the U.S. So they're close to seeing that come to fruition. But also we are hearing that the U.S. and China are fairly close to concluding Madrid trade talks. So that got the market a little excited yesterday morning. But as we went through the afternoon hours, we did see Treasury Secretary Bessent's comments on the TikTok thing, and there was no mention of soybeans or any kind of goods deal out there. It was definitely something to pay attention to. We do not see any kind of phase one type deal being agreed to in the near term. That would require considerable negotiations, and China no longer needs all the ag goods that it secured back earlier this decade when we came out of the first China tit-for-tat trade storm. China's soybean import needs are stagnating. Future cuts to its hog herds are going to return in order to get their hog herds to return to profitability, are going to limit feedstuff imports. Even soybean meal might be dealing with part of this as well. The Chinese farmer is suffering from negative margins as well, like most of us here in the Northern Hemisphere. And so any potential Trump and Xi call is probably going to be a story, but all it really does is limit the selling, not necessarily give us a bullish run. We saw that get hit in the head with a hammer yesterday late morning. I'm Ryan Martin.
Hey, thanks, Ryan. Now let's take a look at your overnight trade brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. December new crop corn 424.5 up 1 1/4. March corn 442 up a penny. November soybeans 10.45 3/4 up 3 cents. January soybeans 10.64 3/4 up 3 cents. As we turn to wheat, December 5.26 3/4 up 1 3/4. Now looking at livestock from yesterday's close, October live cattle $234.60, up $4.62. December live cattle $236.27, up $4.35. October lean hogs $97.52, up 40 cents. And October feeder cattle $354.50, up $8.70. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.